Well done, Dennis. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. Just, messing around one night.
Well, everybody, welcome to the Tuesday night version of webcast. We got Dr. Shaun Cooper with us. We'll introduce him in just a moment. Dennis, tell us what's on the horizon, please.
So, let's see. What day are we? The 5th? Cinco de Mayo? Happy Cinco de Mayo, Dana.
Oh, gracias.
On Thursday, 10 a.m., we'll have a coaches officials webinar hosted by Dana. She sent out a Zoom webinar link. On Friday, 5 p.m., Tony Corrente, retired NFL White Hat, I believe.
No, he's still working.
He's still working? Oh, not retired anymore. He's still
not retired.
Not retired. Saturday will be Sarah Thomas giving a class on line and scrimmage, 10 a.m. And the next Wednesday, Stevan Baca, 6 p.m. We'll have 5 questions and 5 videos, so it's more of a video breakdown with rules, 5 rules. Next Thursday will be Big 12 XFL back judge Terry Walton. He'll be giving a class on the back judge position. So that's what we got coming up. Dana, it's all yours.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. It's another good night of a little football officiating, training, and education. Tonight's speaker, as you can see from your screen, and as Dennis mentioned, is Shaun Cooper. Shaun is a football official from the Los Cruces group. He has 17 years of experience in football, 14 years of experience in basketball, or for those who prefer the other sport. He's officiated 3 New Mexico State Championship football games. This past year, he was the head linesman for the 6A State Championship game. And he is an associate professor at NMSU, where he teaches computer science. And Shaun was one of our state clinicians last year. Was that last year, Shaun?
That's correct.
It's all blur. Right now, I don't even know what day it is, but Shaun's one of the most intelligent people I have ever known, and he certainly does some outstanding presentations for football. He does a lot in terms of training and education, and we all can learn a lot from him. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome everybody tonight and say thank you to Shaun for being our presenter this evening, and I will turn it right over to him. Thanks, Shaun.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Dennis. I'm going to share my screen here. So I'm waiting for. So today I want to talk a little bit about loose ball and what loose ball looks like and what are the rules around it. I want to make sure that we don't focus on what we might remember from pro or college. Our loose ball rules are very different and has some nuances in it. And so you'll see some of the slides and some of the plays that I've generated from last summer and probably forgot some of those. And then I've developed a few more just to kind of tickle the edges of these rules. There was a question about a week ago where he said, how do you go about learning the rules? And for me, I like to read the rules and then apply them in kind of the regular spot, and then also try to push them on the edge. What's the ridiculousness of it? What's the maximum and levels that I could push these rules to understand what the boundaries of these rules are? So, so quickly, just a little outline of what we're going to do. It's a little bit of motivation. We'll test ourselves, remind ourselves about kind of our plays and some of the exceptions that go with these things, and then we'll talk more about loose ball. And mostly in the main area, there's a lot of exceptions for when there's a score. Talk a little bit about those, but I really want to focus on what happens with loose ball and where we need to actually pay attention. The one thing I want us to remember is that we need to use our beanbag not only for fumbles, but also for backward passes, anywhere, any place. So especially if it's beyond the line of scrimmage and there's a backwards pass run, there's a run, a guy doesn't want to get tackled, pitches back towards someone else, and they run farther, we need to have a beanbag on that backwards pass. And we often say, beanbag the fumble, beanbag the fumble. We should be saying beanbag the loose ball whenever the ball becomes out of the hands, not in possession of one of the players. So we do some correctness and consistency. That's always the kind of the idea that I like to talk about. We're going to focus on loose ball plays. Let's just take ourselves real quick. Quarterback passes, goes past the neutral zone and then returns behind the line of scrimmage and then passes the ball. Here's see if I can get this one up and do an open MAA play. Sorry. Guess I don't have that one. Where is it? Sorry. I should have looked earlier. I caught. No. I want to look in NMAA. Oh, don't save. Sorry. I understand now. This software is not the super easiest. So this is not part of loose ball. It has some loose ball components. We're not going to have a foul here, but we just want to watch what happens here. In the first run, the quarterback runs across the line of scrimmage and retreats back on top of the line of scrimmage. And then in the second half, throws the ball to the receiver. And the question is this a legal play or not? And the answer to that is actually yes, it is a legal play. Because it doesn't, there's no, the line of scrimmage doesn't dissolve when the quarterback goes back and comes back. It stays live. So even if he goes back and passes back to another player, backwards pass, or retreats themselves, as long as they have one forward pass, it's a legal pass. And here's just some reminders. Here's another one when we test ourselves. This is when I see a lot of times what we've missed, and this is one of the exceptions in our rule set. And this is where there's a pass play to A2. A2 is first, so that we're going to go to play 2, open, pass play, hold. So in this play, what we have is, let me move this over here. We have a series where there's a hold at the very beginning as this guy goes by. There's a hold by the defensive end, and then he gets free, and the wide receiver picks the ball up and makes a touchdown for it. Well, this is a foul during loose ball. Normally, that foul would be previous spot administered, but we have an exception to that rule, and this is what we miss a lot of times. When there's a foul by the defense, pretty much no matter what, and there's a touchdown, that's a tack on. That's not a college rule where you have to refuse it. We get to take the score and take the penalty. As John Daniel will tell me, it hurts them the most. What hurts them the most is kind of a general philosophy about these things. So again, if we have a hold at the beginning of a pass play, this is during loose ball, and then it continues on and there's a score, that hold can be tacked on either to the succeeding point after try or the succeeding kick. Let's look at another one real quick. So this is the second half of it. And then we want to make sure we test ourselves again on hold and sack. So let's look at play 3 real quick. I'll tab, open play 3. And so here we have a play where there's a hold by offense. This is easy. And then there's a tackle by the quarterback on the other side of that one. Well, this quarterback never lost the ball, never was loose ball. The penalty enforcement's at the end of the run. And so this is where it hurts the offense the most. And they can take that ball back. It'll be the penalty they can decline the penalty and take it at the end of the run, or they get out on that 10 yards at the end of the run. So that was just a normal play. We've seen those a lot of times. Now, let's do another one where there's the same kind of scenarios there, but this is slightly different. We're testing ourselves on this, and we'll see what happens next. This one's slightly different. So in this play, we have action. The quarterback is retreating. We have a we have a hold by the offensive tackle, and then the quarterback fumbles the ball or backwards passes the ball, and then the quarterback then recovers the ball and is tackled back there. So in this case, the ball became loose. We're going to see the definite in just a second. This meant that all the action prior to or during the loose ball is what's called loose ball play. And these fouls that are behind that, this loose ball became loose ball behind the line of scrimmage. That means that this foul is an either or, meaning they can take the result of the play here, or they can go back to where the penalty was, line of scrimmage in this case, and walk off those 10 yards and have a reset it down. So this is an or. Notice there's a slight difference between the first one, quarterback just got sacked, but there was a hold by the offense. The second one, the quarterback fumbled or backward passed purposefully, and then so that penalty is not a tackle on. That penalty occurred before or during loose ball, and so that penalty is enforced from the previous spot. Well, that's behind the line of scrimmage. You guys are always willing to pipe in. I don't understand. I don't agree. And it's better for us to have a conversation than say, "Oh, Shaun knows what's going on." And we'll get to the rules as we get there. So let's look at the definition of the rules about loose ball. We're looking at loose ball play. What are the rules? So in Rule 2 defines it. Rule 10 talks about the enforcement and how we go about doing it. So in Rule 2, we're going to focus on 233. Plays for penalty enforcement, and this is about loose ball. There's a whole bunch of other things we need to talk about. Today we're going to talk about loose ball. So it defines in 233 what loose ball play is. We want to focus on all four of these and see where they are. So a free kick or a scrimmage kick, other than what's called a post-scrimmage kick foul. So these fouls are not PSK qualified. We're not going to talk about them very much today. I will talk them later if Ken and Dennis would like me to that one. But notice this is a foul that's during a loose ball while the ball was, basically behind the line of scrimmage. Even a free kick, the ball is effectively behind the line of scrimmage. So these fouls are occurring during the loose ball of a free kick. Loose ball play is also when you have a legal forward pass. You're going to only have a legal forward pass, one forward pass behind the line of scrimmage. Notice these words. A and B are behind the line of scrimmage. C, a backwards pass, including the snap, that would be behind the line of scrimmage. An illegal kick. How would you get an illegal kick? It's typically in the backfield. It's when the ball's on the ground and one of the kickers kicks it purposely on the ground. Or a fumble by A from in or behind the neutral zone. Notice A, B, and C are all about behind the neutral zone and no change of possession. Because once you change the possession, there's no more line of scrimmage. So notice those three. The fourth one, called loose ball play, is the runs which precede a legal or illegal kick, a legal forward pass, backward pass, or fumble. And this one can apply to things that are beyond the line of scrimmage. For example, if you get beyond the line of scrimmage, you can still be a backwards pass. You could also have a forward, well, not a legal forward pass. It could be illegal. And I asked the NFHS to add illegal to this phrase, but they haven't added it to it. So the first three are all behind the line of scrimmage. The fourth one can be in front of the line of scrimmage. Those are important to us about what we're going to do next. And then Article 2, running play is an action play. That's not one of these above it. So we're going to see more about that in the rule definition of penalty enforcement in set 10. So in set 10, notice that we only see 3 of the rules specifically listed here and a note. So D is not there. A loose ball play action is a free kick, scrimmage kick, other than those defined by those pieces. And what we're going to do is that's still behind the line of scrimmage. A legal forward pass has to be behind the line of scrimmage. A backwards pass, and notice I emphasize from in or behind the neutral zone. So all of these loose ball plays are going to be interesting. This is 10-3-1. Remember, T3-1 is all behind the line of scrimmage. And then it talks about you can have loose ball multiple times behind the line of scrimmage. You can fumble the ball, you can pick it up, you could pitch it backwards, you could pick it up, You could kick it to your buddy if you wanted to, and then your buddy could throw a forward pass all behind the line of the scrimmage. All of that's legal, although those are loose ball play action behind the line of scrimmage. 10.3.1 is all about the line hand scrimmage. 10.3.2 says a running play is any action that it's not included in Article 1. This is Article 1. So running plays aren't things when the ball gets loose. So then we start talking about what the end of the run is. The end of the run is when the ball becomes dead, when the runner is in possession. That's pretty straightforward. Want to talk about B, where the runner loses possession if his run is followed by a loose ball. So there is a run, the ball becomes loose. That's the end of the run. We're going to need to know about the end of the run with penalty enforcement in just a second. And there's two places that's going to happen when that's going to happen. 10.4.1, if a foul occurs during a down, the basic spot is determined by the action. The action includes loose ball play action. So we have this word loose ball in there during and they call this the basic spot. So that's the first place we're going to just consider putting the ball for penalty enforcement, but it may move backwards based on what else happened. The basic spot is the previous spot for a foul which occurs simultaneously with a kick, but I'm emphasizing B, for a foul which occurs during a loose ball as defined in 10.3.1. 10.3.1 loose ball is in or behind the neutral zone. So if a foul occurs during loose ball play in or behind the line of scrimmage, the basic spot is the previous spot. So if it's loose, the place we're going to look is going to be the previous spot. This is what the rule says for us. This is not like what happens in college and in pro. This is for us. There's some special enforcement ones. I just want to focus on the basic spot for foul, and I'm not going to talk about C for kicking. So all of these kicking things, I just want to talk about the basic spot for normal plays, not scrimmage kicks, and all of these other ones. There's plenty of us to learn from that separately. We're just talking about line of scrimmage or when the ball becomes loose beyond the line of scrimmage or if there's no line of scrimmage. Okay, the basic spot is the spot where the kick ends. Okay, where the kick ends on a sport. I'm just going into some basic spots. Again, the basic spot is the previous spot. In 4.3, just to be have everything there. 10.4.3 talks about where the spot kick ends. We're not going to talk about kicks anymore. 10.4.4, the basic spot is a spot where the related run, that's where we're going to have a beanbag. We have a beanbag beyond the line of scrimmage, or if there isn't one, even if, remember, a loose ball can be a backwards pass, so we're going to throw out a beanbag for that as well. We've only been telling you to do fumbles when the ball is ever pitched back. We want to beanbag that. If it's thrown forward past the line of scrimmage, we've got a flag on it. We don't need to have a beanbag. If someone kicks it beyond the line of scrimmage, we have a flag on it. We don't need a beanbag on it. But we've been telling you to beanbag fumbles. I'm telling you, for our rules, we also have to beanbag backwards passes beyond the line of scrimmage. But there's this 10.4.5 talks about succeeding spots, and those are typically off-field fouls, unsportsmanlike fouls, dead ball fouls. And we weren't talking about enforcement, talk about loose ball, just kind of get in the sense about where all these things are, and about 10.4.5. So let's look at a play 7, and see what's going to happen. So it's going to be a ball on the 35, 1st and 10. A1's in a shotgun formation. After the snap is ended, so the ball was loose, but the quarterback got it. After it's in, A2 halfback blocks B2 below the waist, dives at his knees at A's 33-yard line, and the play's a reverse. During the reverse, A1 pitches the ball out to A3, and A3 runs for a decent run. So remind me, what was that? What's open, pass, run?
7.
7, thank you very much. Open. So here's the play, and so this is how. So we've got the quarterback, got the ball. We're running kind of a reverse in place, and there's the block on the back, block below the waist by the tight end. So we've got a foul there. It's not a loose ball foul yet. It's just a foul, and we continue on until we get to this point. And when we get to this point, we're going to move on to the next step. And at the next step, there's a pitch. At this point, that makes that foul, part of the related run, and the ball became loose behind the line of scrimmage. So this foul at the 33 per se, or 36, I said 33, but here's this foul, is now going to be treated slightly different. And then he's run and tackled behind the line of scrimmage. So this is where we have to be careful. What we want to do is take that foul that the offense did and tack it on to the end of the run there. That's not going to be their case. The rule says the basic spot for that foul, where we would mark it off, is the previous spot. And then we would then move it back with all-in-one where the tight end, if it was behind the line of scrimmage. We'd go back. Let's change the mechanism. So get that point. We've got a loose ball foul. Let's change the process here. And now the foul is a face mask by defense right there. Face mask by defense. Yank down the tight end. Now the ball gets loose by purposely throwing it. And again, that running back is tackled behind the line of scrimmage. What is the basic spot for that foul of defense? The previous line of scrimmage. So if we're going to let A have that penalty, we get to go back to the line of scrimmage and mark off that 15-yard face mask towards the defense, because that's loose ball play. It's not that case if it was never loose. If it was never loose, it's the end of the run. But in case this one's loose, and you're probably saying, I don't agree. So let's go back to see that rule so we make sure we see that part. Let's look at the definition of loose ball. So it's a backwards pass from in or behind the line of scrimmage. Does it meet the criteria for loose ball action? Yes. And then we look at the spot of enforcement, and the spot of enforcement is the previous spot. So if we have that scenario where defense caused a penalty or offense caused a penalty, then we're going to start from the previous spot to mark that line off. So is this surprise? Hopefully it's not surprising to you, but it's not the same as happens in other leagues. This is our rules. As much as we may or may not like them, that's how they are. Feel free to send a question in the chat room, or if you have, you can just mic in and ask a question. There's not a ton of us, so it's better that you ask me and either correct me, or we can talk about why it's right or wrong.
Is the enforcement spot different if the end of the run ends beyond the line of scrimmage for that loose ball foul?
No. So let me see if I ask you that question, and then see if. So let's change. I'm gonna get rid of that. Let's say I'm gonna add on to this play, and he didn't really get tackled, but he runs over to here, and he gets tackled here. Is that the scenario that we're talking about now?
Yes.
Okay. So again, we've had the motion, the activity over here. We have the pitch, we have the foul, and then the pitch back, and we got to run all the way till the front of the line. Where is the spot of that foul? It's not during the run. The related run was when the quarterback pitched it out. So we don't get to add on that one either. It's an or. When the ball penalty occurs before or during loose ball, and you can have penalties after that, but during the loose ball, that penalty belongs to that set. If it's behind the line of scrimmage, then the penalty enforcement's previous spot. As much as we want to tack that on, we can't. And we have to explain it to the coach. Because you pitched it, you don't get to have both. You can have one or the other. Now, if there was no pitch, it's going to be tacked on to the end. And I know that's hard to digest.
So they could decline it and take the result of the play?
Yes. So you can,
or they could accept and take whatever would give them more yardage.
more yardage and repeat the down unless they get they get first down on it. So usually what happens with loose ball, it's an or, whereas in running play it's an and, right? You get to have the result of the play and tack it on, but the loose ball is it's like an or in the sense that it's at that spot. And we'll see another one in a minute about some more of those pieces. But I suspect this is kind of a little surprising to us because that's not how we officiate it.
Right. And so
it's like
penalties we're talking about, are they just 15-yard penalties?
Anything, 5, 10, 15, any of the penalty, anytime there's a penalty by either team, then if you want to enforce it, that's the choice. It's at the previous spot. We're talking about fouls behind the line of scrimmage. We're going to get some that are in front of the line of scrimmage in just a minute. But again, it's all of that stuff up to that point.
Right.
And
I just wanted to clarify that, make sure everyone understood that it's all fouls, not just
all fouls. All fouls. You guys doing good? Okay. Hope so. So let's look at play 8. This is a similar one in the sense that, but this is all handing the ball. So I'm going to go to play 8. Don't save. Play 8. So this is a similar play in the sense that we've got the action towards our side, and the press box side. But in this case, the foul occurs, and then there's a handoff here. I apologize. This software's not as clean about the handoff, but there's a handoff there. The ball hasn't gone loose. We haven't pitched it at this point. And then we have a run and he gets tackled there. This is a running play, 100% running play. The ball never came loose. So if the run ends there and defense wants that thing, they can actually take the penalty at the end of the run, but would we repeat down, or they can refuse the down. Or if for some reason, we're going to add another piece here, that wide receiver runs past here and he gets tackled at this next scenario here. At that next scenario. Now the penalty, it's still a running play, and offense committed the foul, let's say. So this is what's called the all but one rule. The end of the run is the basic spot. The foul did not occur during loose ball. The foul occurred during the play, and so we're going to go to the spot of the foul and walk off that 10 yards if they want that penalty. This is pretty straightforward. There's no, it's like, I think we're really good about the all but one rule. The fouls behind the end of the run are pretty clean with us. Any questions about this part? This is really straightforward. Notice there's a slight difference between these two plays. One play was a loose ball and one wasn't. And so we're not careful about loose ball, and we want to get ourselves better at the loose ball understanding. I'm not going to do a scrimmage kick. I'm not going to do some free kicks. I want to look at this RAZZLE DAZZLE here, play 14, and I've got a couple more that I've built just for this one. These are ones I showed last time during our clinic, but I want to show you this. Don't save. And I'm going to 14 RAZZLE DAZZLE. So this is a test ourselves, and apologize. What we're going to have basically is a lot of people going downfield to catch a ball. And what's going to happen next is there's going to be a foul downfield, then a pitch to somebody, and then a run. So here we've got everybody running downfield, and now we have a pass to that one wide receiver. Now, I don't put that yellow penalty needs to occur. I couldn't get it to work right. Needs to occur now. So the ball is no longer loose, and this wide receiver's got the ball, and now the penalty occurred. Apologize for the sequencing, but just make sure that you understand. So now it's a foul during a run. Loose balls know it's over. Ball's got the run. Now what happens is the wide receiver pitches the ball out. Now the ball became loose. So this foul that occurred on the 30 occurred before or during the loose ball. And the rule says that that foul is going to be assessed at the end of the run. That means we need a flag here. Because what happens next is this player runs all the way for a touchdown. So the question is, we would want to throw and assess the penalty from where the penalty was committed, but the rule says that it's going to be where it's either that if it's going to be where the ball, in this case, where the ball was pitched. So that says the fouls are associated with the related run. A related run was that event after it was received by that player and all the way up into that pitch. That is a run, and that's the related run, and that became loose. That penalty occurred before or during the loose ball. That's why we have to pitch our beanbags, even for a backwards pass. And I know that's not what we say. Backwards passes and fumbles when the ball becomes loose. What I'm going to show you now is I'm going to go to my Tuesday one. I have a couple of scenarios here. This is a loose ball play. So we have the quarterback. He's retreating back. There's a penalty by offense. And before the quarterback gets tackled, he throws the ball out of bounds backwards. Now, see, I'm going to talk about the extreme. Why would he do that? Well, he can. And so now the question is, what is that foul that's at the 35? That foul is a loose ball foul. And that foul is going to start by basic spotting at the previous spot. If that foul, let's go back up here, and in the defensive end's action to get by that halfback, he grabs him by the face mask and throws him on the ground. And then he's going after that quarterback, and the quarterback says, pitch that ball out of bounds. Well, because that ball was loose, he made it loose. Seems pretty illegal, seems unsporting-like, but it became loose purposefully, or it fumbled accidentally. That ball became loose, and that qualifies that foul as a loose ball foul, and its basic spot is the line of scrimmage. And since it's against defense, we would march that 15 yards from that spot. If we reverse the role of those fouls, in this case, the halfback grabs the face mask of that defensive end, but it gets loose, and then the quarterback tosses it back. Then there's a choice. There's an or choice. The defense can take the ball where it went out of bounds, minus a down, or they can take that penalty. But that penalty is basic spot on the 40. All but one rule says that we would walk off that penalty from the 35, not where the ball went out of bounds, because the ball went loose. If that quarterback had run out of bounds during that foul, then they could tack it on.
Shaun, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, this is Joe in Albuquerque. So the first scenario you said, the halfback went up the middle to block. The defensive end grabbed him by the face mask, right there.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Then he went on to the quarterback, and,
Yes.
and the quarterback intentionally grounded the ball backwards out of bounds.
Correct.
Okay, so you have a foul there also.
No, because
Even though it's a loose ball, so you got a foul on offense and a foul on defense. Why would not they offset?
so backwards passes are never illegal.
Yeah, but intentional grounding is.
So intentional grounding is a forward pass, not a backwards pass. You can never intentionally backwards pass.
Even if the quarterback says, okay, I'm under duress, and I look back and I know there's nobody there, and I toss it out of bounds on purpose.
So, Joe, I think a backward pass, if he throws it in to intentionally ground it, you're not going to kill it. It's going to be a fumble until it goes out of bounds. It's a loose ball, and it's not a penalty.
It's not. So it's not a foul. It's
Not
just
a
a
foul.
not.
It's not a foul. And I know that there's other
Well, that
places.
happens so fast. No wonder people get screwed up, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, I mean, if you wanted to coach a coach and you say, you know what, quarterback, if you see a flag come out and you can throw that ball just slightly out back behind you so you don't get an intentional ground, it's to your advantage. It's to the advantage of the quarterback to actually fumble the ball out of bounds backwards.
Yeah.
This rule. I mean, I don't think this is
a spot and force against the defense, first down or whatever it is.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I mean, unless you can find something, I mean, the rules are really clear about the looseness. And so this is what, we miss this a lot.
Well, that was easy to miss because it looks blatant, but the backwards pass is the key there. So.
Yeah, well, and I could put the quarterback to the sideline, and as he gets tackled, fumbles the ball out of bounds. And whether it's forward or backwards at that point, it doesn't matter. Once the ball got fumbled, and we could put that guy slightly over to this. If I could change, if you want, I could change his action. Let me get rid of that action. I'm going to do that one. And let's say this quarterback also runs, and did I throw the? Okay, and so now I'm going to go to the next scenario. Oh shoot, it's complicated. The software's not easy, and they're running back. I'm sorry. That software's got some troubles with me doing some of it with this ball, but I think you guys get that. Whether he purposely throws it backwards or fumbles it. So I always like to think of the extremes. What happens if he threw it forward? Well, it would be dead and we'd have a double foul. I agree with that, Joe. But if he throws it backwards, there's nothing illegal about it. There's nothing illegal about throwing it backwards. And in this case, when the foul occurred, whether it was offense or defense, that foul starts at the previous spot of enforcement is the line of scrimmage. Now, the offensive foul, we're going to go back to the spot of the foul and move it back. But we're not going to go where it was thrown out of bounds. That's the key to this one. And I know it's kind of a jaw-dropping one. So it's like, oh, this is crazy. But that's our rules. Our rules are different than what we see in college and pro, what we're used to. Any questions about this scenario? I have another couple to throw at you.
Do you ever see Federation just going to NCAA rules?
Are you asking my question? I don't think so, because there's a one, they have an apparatus. They've convinced 48 states to apply Federation. It causes, I think politically, it causes us trouble talking to coaches and fans because they don't quite understand the kind of the college rules part. But I look at the rules in high school, and they're a lot more safety oriented. And you could argue with me, but we don't let the defense come back forth, and that helps the new learning student at high school not to not have to react to a person coming back and forth. They're not in the neutral zone and jumping back. And so I do think there's things coming like out of pocket clearing the clock is not going to be intentional grounding. I think that's coming. There's some things that are mixes there, but I just don't think all of it's there. We talk a little bit more about safety. I think if we see coaches take advantage of this purposeful backwards pass and advantage of getting these things, they'll get rid of that. There was a time when quarterbacks, after a touchdown in Connecticut, if you won by 50, coach had to sit a game or two. And so he would instruct his quarterback on a point after try to run back 97 yards and do a kneel down to shave points. And if you remember, 4 or 5 years ago, they said defense can never score on a point after try. That was something introduced into our rule book, and you're probably like, I don't know what that means. But it was happening in Connecticut in the sense that coaches were using that rule. They could not pitch it to the defense to run back, and so and here's another one with the safety. It's like on a point after try, we're done, right? We're done. As soon as the offense has tried enough, we're done. Where in college, they get to play back. And I just don't think that's going to happen for a while. The Federation's got a lot more on the safety. But I mean, that's all I see. I'm not in that room talking to them. Let's see. We're going to have a play here. This is just a plain old running play. I don't know why I put this one here. This is a plain running play. A handoff. There's a foul here by offense or defense. Doesn't really matter. And the running play comes over here. So this is a kind of a sweep, but it's a run sweep. In effect, it's just a quarterback sweep. And the quarterback runs. Let me get everybody placed there. So quarterback, is he running at all? Oh, there's a handoff to that wide out runner. He gets the ball. There's a foul, and he runs further on, and then eventually is tackled. Well, since the ball never came loose, this is a penalty by, let's say, defense. They knocked his knees out from underneath him, so that you caught that. They talk about clearing the sweep, and that defensive end knocked the offensive tackle off by his feet, blocked below the waist. So this is just a plain old run. This is going to be end of the run penalty, blocked below the waist, 10 yards. Now we're going to change it up a little bit, and this is what we're going to have. And this one's a sweep as well. We're going to go to the near side again. Got all our players pulling. They're moving forward. I mean, again, we've got that defensive tackle knocking the offensive tackle's knee, blocked below the waist. And now we have a screen pass to this halfback, who then runs down multiple yards. That block below the waist occurred before or during loose ball. That means we don't tack on that penalty to that run. It's an or. It's previous spot plus 10, or just take the results of the play. We don't get to add that on. This is the hardest one we get, because we've got to be aware. So if we're all officials need to say, hey, I had a foul, and I know it was before or during loose ball. And referees need to say, hey, I think the ball became loose. Do you remember where that foul occurred? Did it occur before or after loose ball? Because it makes a difference of where we're going to place that ball. See if I have another one. And I'm going to see this one. Loose ball play foul before or during loose ball, foul by a spot. Okay, so we have everybody running past the line of scrimmage, right? The ball, there's a penalty by, let's say, the defensive end onto the offensive tackle. Quarterback runs past, pitches the ball back. Ball became loose. Now, where did that penalty occur? A penalty occurred before that ball became loose. It occurred before it there, and now we're going on. The quarterback is here and is at the 35 pitching back. That's where we have a bean bag. And then we throw a long pass here and so forth. So if we want to take that penalty, the penalty is going to be back where that pitch was. It's not going to be a tack on. Because the ball became loose before or during loose ball. And it was purposely passed back. We don't typically beanbag that, but we've got to. So I think I'm done with slides. Let me look here. We talked about Razzle Dazzle. And I'm at the spot where I'd like to take some input from you guys, or thoughts, or what you would like, or, I'm always glad I'm always sensitive about how much I'm talking and you guys are digesting and start running out of positive energy. So I'd like to take some input from you, or a scenario that we might be able to build, and see if that makes any sense to you.
I don't know if I've ever actually heard a 45-minute dissertation on loose ball. I think it's No, really, it's amazing. I've never had anybody dive into it that deep. It's fantastic.
Did you learn something that you didn't know before?
Several things. It's the coaches, when you were talking about, it would be advantageous for a player to do this or do that. We have the coaches coming on to talk with us Thursday morning. I don't really want to bring up that topic because it'll take over the whole program and all the coaches will throw it into their playbook. But, it would be pretty smart of them to start jumping on our webinars and learning as much as we're trying to learn with all these different rules. It'd make you a better coach.
Yeah, what I would tell, you have to be careful, but in general, you don't lose anything. Have the quarterback run to the sideline and just pitch it out of bounds backwards. And, you're only lose a half a yard from that. And if there's a penalty anywhere, you're not going to be, if it was on you, it's going to be at the penalty enforcement instead of the end of the run. If it's on them, it's going to go to the previous spot. It's not, you never lose anything out of it by pitching, getting to the side and pitching it out of bounds. I'm not saying that our rules are good. I'm just saying you're going to take advantage of them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hey, you guys unmute and then ask a question. Hey, Dennis, do you have them locked on mute or can they unmute?
They could unmute.
Okay. Well, we don't have to go the entire time. I'm always about 45 minutes. There's a lot going on. And, and I don't have, I don't want to talk about, I don't want to mix up all of the special enforcement and other pieces, which we could talk about at other times. I just would like to just focus on the bare bones of this loose ball component.
Shane, do you have a question?
I'm just checking to see if my mic works.
It works.
Okay.
Well, if nobody has any questions, Dana, it's all yours.
I agree with Ken. I've never seen a 45-minute presentation about loose ball either, but that was good stuff. If no one has any questions, I just want to say thank you to Shaun and also thank you to everybody who joined tonight. I believe Dennis read off the schedule at the beginning, but we'll have another one on Thursday morning, which is the coach official webinar with Mike Pereira. And then Friday night is Tony Correnti. And Saturday is Sarah Thomas. So we've got a lot more football coming up. We'll send out the recording of this link again. So that way, if you have questions, you can look back at it. And then if there's something that's unclear to you, if you want to send an email to me or Dennis or Ken will forward that on to Shaun. So if there's something you look at after the fact and go, wait a minute, I probably should have asked this question, we're happy to get that out to you. So everybody, thank you for still working on your craft in this lull in sports. And we look forward to seeing you again on Thursday morning.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Shaun.
Hey, Shaun.
Thank you. And there was a comment on the chat line. Great presentation by Shaun.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It was,
I think there's a couple of comments. Go ahead, Steve H.
Wasn't that?
Hey, this is Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Shaun, this is Steve in Roswell. I got a question.
Okay.
Maybe I missed it, but when you were doing that running play, the sweep to the right, okay, and he fouled, but the run was like 10 yards farther down. So the basic spot is the end of the run.
Yes.
But did I hear you right that it wasn't because the foul was behind the end of the run, the basic spot wouldn't it be from the spot of the foul?
So there's two, there's the basic spot and then there's the enforcement spot. So the basic spot's the end of the run. The enforcement spot is going to be behind the line, behind that. So yes, the enforcement spot would be behind. Like you.
Okay, that's what. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I might have misstated it, but the language says the basic spot for enforcement is the end of the run, and the all but one rule says if the penalty by offense is behind, we're going to go to that. That's a spot foul enforcement.
Okay, great. That's what I thought. All right, cool.
Bill,
Okay.
do you have something?
Yes, Dr. Cooper, I just want to say thank you for all the proper use of when the beanbag should be applied. And also, I just need to revisit the whole rule book application on 10.4, 10.4.2, all the way to all how to apply all the rules if it's before and after the line scrimmage. I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome. I'm always available to you all, and Ken and Dennis. I'm happy to talk about other, like the special enforcement. As a teaser, I believe that we're going to have a presentation on force during the state clinic. That's what I'm thinking is happening, and I've been working on a grid for all of those pieces, and Dennis and Esteban and some others are going to contribute so that we're all rock solid with that on the state clinic.
Okay,
Hey, I can speak personally.
Thank you.
Mr. Cooper he'll reply to any email that you guys send him, trust me.
Might not like the answer, but he'll reply.
I got a question about your state clinics because I'm going to be new with your guys' group. When do you guys host your state clinics?
When do we host them?
So when or where? I'm sorry.
When and where?
When and where? So the state clinic every year is actually here in Albuquerque. We do one centralized site, and then we do offer an alternate state clinic that is held via webinar similar to this. It is right now scheduled for the 17th and 18th of July. We're, of course, waiting on word from the governor, CDC, and everybody else above us to let us know if we'll be able to have that gathering. We do it in conjunction with our Hall of Fame banquet and awards ceremony and all of that. So we're hopeful that it will take place. If we're not able to hold a live one, we'll be doing online webinars for the state clinic this year as well. So generally it's the third week of July in Albuquerque, but this year we're not sure yet.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And where are you located at, sir?
Currently, I'm in California. I'll be moving to Capitan, taking my first carload up sometime end of this month, and plan on being there in July.
Okay. Did you reach out to us already? Did we put you in contact with?
Yeah, I've talked. I got an email from Dana earlier today. I've talked with David, and I'm going to be talking with Leonard after this.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Thank you.
Shane, welcome to the family. We're glad to have you on board and look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
All right, I think that's it. Unless nobody else, if anybody else has anything, we're gonna call it an early night.
Great job, Coop.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Mr. Cooper. Great presentation.
Thanks,
Thank
Shaun.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dennis and Ken.
Yeah,
Hey, thank you,
thanks,
Ken.
Dana.
Cool.
Hey, Dennis and Ken, could you see the images good, and was it clear?